A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is Tuesday, class 9 December 2025. As usual, we will be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. Then you all can gather for Puja. Nam mô Bổn Sư释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无药师佛。南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无普贤菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨布多巴嘎哇。Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Saukasangho Sanghang Namami. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapada Samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapada samadhiyami. Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapada samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapada samadhiyami. Sura meraya majapama datana veramani sikkhapada samadhiyami. Okay, y'all can be seated. Then to page 3 of the chanting book. We will continue from Padipa Puja. Ganna sarapa titena dipena tamadang sina. Di loka dipang sambuddhang Pujayami tamonudang Kanda sambara yutena Dopena hang sukang hina Pujaye pujaniyam tang Puja bacana muttamang Vanna ganda guno petang Etang kesuma santatin Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujemi bedang kesumena nena Punnena metena cehotu mokang Upang milayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati vinasa bawang Adivase tuno bante Pangiyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan atumutamang Adivase tuno bante Pali parikapitang Anukampang padaya Patigan hatumutamang Adivase tuno bante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatumutamang. Okay, now we will chant the puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses out the fires of all defilements within our minds. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruitions soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate sila, samadhi, and panya, leading to ultimate liberation upon pre-nibbana, making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Sada, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become bahas or powers, sharing and transfer of merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's be respectful. Bedang je, tamang je, Sangham Puja. Okay, you can be seated. As usual, you off the light so that you can have your half an hour of awareness-based meditation. So awareness-based meditation is slightly different from normal cultivation. It's to allow us to develop this inner awareness within, then stabilize it to become ever mindful. It's only when we are ever mindful can we, as I have explained, awareness-based meditation is to help us develop the inner awareness, then stabilize it so that we are ever mindful. Then we use it to meditate, to develop mindfulness. So awareness-based meditation can be developed in many ways. I have shared with you all before. One of the easiest is, of course, the four support that will bring about inner awareness. That one you need to have a very important understanding. The moment you are without thought, you're already aware. So the four support that support us to help us to develop this inner awareness can be easily understood. The first support is we must learn how to develop this relaxation. Relax body and mind so that our entire body and mind is at ease. There is no more tension, tightness, or stress within. The mind is at ease. The body also in a state of deep relaxation. Then after that, do not arise the thought. Don't think. In order not to think, you must also stop the activity of mind. That's why I said, don't try to know, don't try to do. The knowing and the doing is always by the thought. Then you completely silence everything. Then maintain awareness within. Actually, the moment you are without thought, the inner awareness is ever present. It is always there. The only trouble with living beings is they don't understand this. So to them, they have only one understanding. Their only instrument to live life is thought. So they feel that without thought, like they cannot live life. That's why they keep on arising the thought. And thought can arise in many, many ways because our senses, six sense door, they are very active and they are very easily triggering of thought process. Because every moment of conscious living can bring about the conscious arising of thought. Okay, so to cut it short, I think most of you by now you should have the understanding. Awareness-based meditation is very simple when you understand. You just relax body and mind, maintain awareness, then stabilize the awareness. After you have developed these first three, then you are ready to move on to the fourth support, which is trust. Trust your inner nature to develop the meditative movement. So to develop this trust, you only need to maintain awareness at your heart area. Then don't allow your thought to come in to interfere with the meditation. Just stay there. Maintain awareness. And whatever that the awareness nature can detect, just stay with it. It can be your heartbeat or any vibration around there. Whatever phenomena that arise, just maintain awareness at the heart area. Then it will develop the movement by itself. Then it will locate finally the gateway to your nature. Then after that, a lot of things will happen. Then the one that go through it will understand what that is. Then they will progress very fast after that. But the fourth support usually for those just want to develop the wisdom following the sainthood way until the realization of Arahantaship. You technically don't have to go for the fourth support. The first three, good enough. Ability to relax, maintain awareness, and stabilizing the inner awareness is good enough. Then you silence your mind and allow it to develop until the mind enters sati. Then when mind enters sati, everything you arise within your form and mind through your senses, they are in sati. So that one is very important, very useful. Okay, with that, I will let you develop the meditation on your own. I will now start the 30 minutes of awareness-based meditation, the alarm. And upon triggering off the alarm, you can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Okay, now I will set the alarm. Okay, you can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Okay, now you will turn to page 6 of the chanting book. We will chant the invocation to the Devas. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which is heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddamang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamo Kadang Dhamma Swaran Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Swaran Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Swaran Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swagato Bhagavata Dhammo Santitiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Pachyatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yogani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sangho Ahuneyo Dakiniyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Bunyang Hitam Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can be seated. And we'll continue from where we stopped. We are at page 789 here. Okay, I'll read on. Because there are so many causal conditions, there are many different living beings. People are not the only living beings, which means we humans are not the only living beings. Why? Because even the smallest of ant is a living being. So is the tiniest of mosquito and those very microscopic germs or bacteria or whatever. So this is the case. We should not look outwardly in our search to save living beings. Within our inherent nature, as well as inside our physical body, there are countless living beings. Currently, advances in science and technology and medical science have proven that every living or every human being is like a large bug. Master Shenhua used the word BUG. With countless smaller bugs living inside within this body. How many are there? Technology or medical science cannot determine their numbers because there are so many. So we do not know how many bugs or tiny living beings are in our blood, our flesh, and our internal organs. Why are there so many living beings? Because we eat living beings. What kind of living beings do we eat? If we eat pork, we consume the microorganism associated with pigs. Eating beef, they eat, what is this word? Bovine microorganism. When they eat mutton, they have the germs of sheep. Eating fish, chicken, or ducks, they ingest the microorganism of those animals. When you eat the flesh of living beings, you are not aware that hidden inside it are the germs particular to that type of living beings. So if you eat living beings, they are seeds or microorganisms enters your body. Whichever kind of living beings you eat the most, now move up somewhere, you will have more of their kind of microorganism. Whichever seeds you have more of, you will be more likely to become related to that kind of living being as their family member. That's why Master Shara use the word more likely. But don't worry about all this. Because this one is nature. There are many factors that determine what type of birth you take. So don't be frightened by what he wrote. That's why he used a word like very likely. You will become one of their relatives, where there is an extreme deep affinity between you and them. That is why you cannot separate from them. Hence, the more pork you eat, the greater the probability of you becoming a pig. That one you can just take it as Master Shen Hua's joke. And don't panic because of that. Then likewise, Shen Hua say, eating more beef result in a greater likelihood of becoming a cow. I think we all should by now understand it's not what you eat that make you otherwise. Yeah, many factors. Your karmic is the most powerful. So just like the case of eating vegetarian, the cow eat vegetarian, the horses eat vegetarian, the goats, the herbivores, and all this they eat green things, or what we call mainly grasses and all those things. But then, when they grew up from what they eat, their meat become tough. The human being eat the goats, the cow, and also maybe the pig or whatever. So it's not what you eat that makes you, like compassionate or wise. It's your understanding, your training. Then a lot of other factors, like the bulk of it is the law of karma. Every moment, every instant, the thought you arise, the accumulation of it become your karmic nature. So all this, they play a great role. So forget about what was described. That if you eat a lot of certain animals, you tend to have very high tendency to be born as that. Not necessary. Okay, go back to the notes. Someone may say, if I eat rice, will I turn into a greater rice? So Shenhua explains that rice is insentient, while living beings are sentient beings. If you eat sentient beings, then they will become sentient beings. If you eat insentient things, you will not turn into the essential things that you eat, like rice, grass, or veggie. Instead, it will be truly helping your Dhamma body and wisdom life. That is why you do not have to worry about turning into rice if you eat rice. If we eat other living beings, how do we turn into living beings? Living beings have breath and blood. When there is breath and blood, then the breath attracts and unite with breath. And the blood attracts and unite with blood. When you eat a lot of certain kind of beings, you will be born as that kind of living beings in the future life. If you do not eat them, you are saving that kind of living beings. If you do not eat beef, you are saving cows. If you do not eat mutton, you are saving sheep. By not eating pork, you are saving pigs. What is meant by saving? Saving means putting an end to their cycle of birth and death and ferrying them across the sea of suffering to the other shore of Nibbana. You may say, Dhamma Master, I really do not believe what you say. How can it be that by not eating them, I'm saving them? If I do not eat them, someone else will eat. So how can they be saved? Well, you should just watch over yourself. Others do not understand the principles, but you do. Those who do not understand will be confused. Will do confuse things. Those who do understand should not do confused things. You should not worry about what others do. While we are on the subject, in the past, there was a person who ate meat. After he died, he went before King Yama. When he arrived, the living beings whose flesh had been eaten while he was alive, big sheep's cow, came to settle their debts with him. One pig said, "This person ate a pound of my flesh when he was alive." The sheep said he ate 2 pounds of his flesh, and the ox said he ate 3 pounds of his flesh. The chicken said he ate not just 1 pound, 2 pounds, or 3 pounds of me, he ate my whole body. Now I want to eat him. The meat eater tried to reason with King Yama by saying, I did not really want to eat their meat, It was sold in the street, and I figured if they were sold, they were selling the meat, I could buy it and eat. The people who sold the meat should be charged with the offense. I who ate the meat have not committed any offense. Then King Yama summoned the seller of the meat and said, You sell meat? That's an offense, The meat seller objected, saying, Yes, I sell meat. But how could I sell it unless someone wants to buy it? The reason I sell meat is because people like him wants to buy meat. The meat buyer piped up, saying, But if he did not sell it, how could I buy it? Then both the meat seller and the meat buyer said, Then it wasn't my fault, and it wasn't your fault. I sold the meat because you want to buy it, and you bought it because I sold it. But neither one of us killed the pig. The offense lies with the butcher who killed the pig. Then the butcher, the one who killed the pig, was eaten. King Yama asked him, Are you the one who killed the pig? That's a grave offense. The butcher said, Right, I'm the one who killed the pig. But if I did not eat it, why should I kill it? The meat buyer said, If you did not sell it, I would not have bought it. The butcher said, If you did not eat it, I would not have killed it. Investigating this, who is to be blamed? It was such a confusing case that King Yama could not determine whose fault it was. Each had their own argument. The people who ate meat blamed the people who sold it. saying that he bought and ate it because it was sold. People who sold the pork say that he sold it because a pig was already killed. The person who killed the pig said, if there is no one who ate it, who would have? Why would he have killed it? Everybody had their own reason, but they were mostly excuses for why they commit such offenses. Having heard this argument, King Yama said, okay, so you all deny being responsible. Since you ate a pound of the pig meat, you will be reborn as a pig to repay that pound of meat. Since you ate 2 pounds of sheep meat, you will be reborn as a sheep to repay back those 2 pounds of meat. And since you ate 3 pounds of ox meat, you have to pay back 3 pounds. Since you ate the whole chicken, when you become a chicken, you will be eaten by him. It is all very fair. The 3 of them had to accept the judgment. That's how the case was settled. This one I think you can just ignore it because law of karma decide not King Yama, right? King Yama is we are Chinese belief. There is a King Yama in hell, Gyambo, who will review your case. But all this is not the reality. The reality is the law of karma. Anyway, I read on. I don't know why Shenhua go through all this. You can see them. Oh, sorry, you can see. Then you establish affinity with whatever type of living being you eat. There is a verse that goes, there are 2 persons in the world for me. Oh, sorry. 2 persons in the Chinese word, Mandarin word for me, row. I think got 2 run inside. The one inside is covered by the one outside. Living beings eat the meats or flesh of living beings. Think again. It's actually people eating people. People are pig. And then pig are. And then pig. Oh, sorry. People eat pigs. And then pigs eat people. In the Surangama Sutta, we read, the sheep is reborn as a human. Since sheep can become human, pigs and cows can also become humans. However, because you have not attained the heavenly eye, you cannot see clearly. So you assume pigs are just pigs, sheep are just sheep, cows are just cows. But in what sin? Like the blink of an eye. Sorry, in what seems like a blink of an eye. Just like a magical transformation, your body changes. That is, your consciousness relocates from the body of a person to the body of a pig, then to the body of the cow, and on and on. You move here and there without knowing where you will ultimately end up. Isn't it dangerous? Therefore, in order to save living beings, you must first separate yourself from that kind of karmic relationship with them. Whatever type of living being you skip eating, you can consider yourself as having saved them. That is Shenhua's way of explaining it. The first of the 4 basic vows, or vast vows, of a bodhisattva is, living beings are boundless. I vow to save them all. The living beings in our inherent nature are countless and limitless. You must first save beings within yourself before you can save beings on the outside. You are not finished saving the beings within yourself. You cannot finish saving living beings on the outside. Although you have saved living beings, you should not become attached to having done so. You should save all living beings, yet have no attachment to having saved them. This one I have explained before, where ultimately the understanding must be there. Yes, although we make that vow, because the Bodhisattva way is such, you have to come back through that rebirth process, not via ignorance, but via the understanding of the possibility of a Bodhisattva is you can still take rebirth born of pure love and compassion. So because of that vow, you vow to take across the limitless living being that is out of love and compassion. Because as we all understand, according to the Dhamma, if the Bodhisattva, which is already enlightened, upon that, there is no avijja, there is no ignorance. So there is no conventional rebirth born of ignorance. So that process cannot take place anymore. That's why in the sutta is mentioned very clearly that the Arahant has gone beyond birth and death. No more becoming, no more coming into the world. That's why you read in the chanting book, the appearance of John, where the Buddha actually described this is his last birth. Because at that time, as a Samasa Buddha, after he realized that birth born of the normal avijja or due to ignorance at the moment of death cannot happen anymore. That's why because of that there is a last birth. But those who know the Bodhisattva, you can still come. You can still have this birth and death arising through the karmic nature. And at the same time, having the four basic vows of a great being or of a bodhisattva who have that understanding. So when you have this first of the four basic vows, that love and compassion to save the limitless living beings throughout the entire existence, past, present, and future, until finally you achieve complete perfection of the 10 paramitas to become a Sammasa Buddha. So that movement, that rebirth process, born of love and compassion without avijja, can take place. And because of that, we don't have to worry about all those things. Then the ultimate understanding is when you completely awaken, and you also come to a great realization, the three hallmarks of Huineng, you remember? The one that is no mark. When you realize no mark, or in Mandarin, they call it 无相的境界, means no mark of self, no mark of others, no mark of living beings, no mark of Dhamma, nothing. Actually, it's he no you, he no me. Well, all these are phenomena, dependent originating, condition arising, cause of phenomena. But because the conditioned world has its own sets of conditioned, so he have to really develop the understanding that within the conditioned world, law of karma exists. And there is this this reality, I call it the reality within the conditioned world, as living beings, human beings. That's why within the conditioned world, duality arises. The conditioned world's nature's law that governs life and existence arise. Then there are living beings. There are law of karma. There are things. There are Dhamma, everything. So all this understanding is very important. So when it comes to this part where Shenhua is trying to explain that a lot of the other things you can ignore, because when you have all this understanding and you know they are not really something that is tangible or important. Okay, I read on. The second of the four Vasvas is afflictions are endless. I vow to cut them all. Our afflictions arise without our intending to produce them. We try to avoid having affliction, yet affliction still arises. Without realizing how it happens, ignorance manifests. The Heart Sutta discusses 20 types of subsidiary affliction without causes and conditions or reason. Without cause or reason, affliction arises. One vows is severe. One vows to severe this affliction, but they continue to arise. We would be well off indeed if we have as much money as we had by affliction. Then we would always have money, no need to work for it. It is too bad that we don't have as much money as we do the same as for having affliction. Affliction can never end. So he used the word affliction are never ending. Money is not. Once you use it, it's gone. But there are people who think affliction are the best. They get angry and think it's more fun than eating dumpling. I think we can ignore this, so we move on. The third vow, okay. The third vow is, the final two lines is a bit important. So giving rise to affliction will burn away one's virtue and Dhamma wealth. That's why the Buddha taught all living beings to severe affliction. Affliction must be severe. So this is Xuanhua's way of explaining the second vow. But the actual understanding of the second vow is much, much more deeper. You see, affliction are endless, or we vow to endure and severe the limitless affliction. Means we vow to do this. And how do we do this? In order to be free from affliction, we need to develop the enlightenment, or what we call the wisdom that can lead us to the awakening. So without wisdom, affliction will continue to arise. That's why avijja will condition delusion. And this will condition all the evil roots that have the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. And the three evil roots will condition wrong thought, wrong action, wrong speech, which are karmic related. So when this karmic friction arises, affliction will arise, where you reap what you sow. You cultivate the causes and conditions only. You reap what you sow. If you cultivate affliction, karma, conditioning, then this negative karmic friction will arise. That's why the law of karma states this very clearly. You reap what you sow. You plant the seed of evil. You reap the fruit of evil. You plant the seed of... oh, my knees want to go out. Sorry to trouble. Ready. You plant the seed of wholesomeness. You reap the fruit of wholesomeness. So all this, they will like become clear. Okay, we go back to the notes or the sutta part. So when it comes to the second vow, it's more for us to develop the wisdom. That's why the perfection of wisdom can fulfill the second vow. So that one need a lot of patience. The parami, or we call it the patient paramita, kanti. And patience is very important. That's why sometimes they use the word patient endurance. You must have wisdom to develop patience. Then you can endure without delusion. Otherwise, most people suppress the suffering. Like the commonly used Mandarin word, ren. So that word, like you try to suppress the suffering or the misery. So they say you must be patient, you must endure it. But without wisdom, that is not patient endurance. That is delusion. That condition what they call patient. I think the Mandarin word is very good. Our Chinese dialect is very good. When we say yan, when you yan without wisdom, you actually suppressing your emotion, your anger, your hatred, your fear, etc. Okay, the third vow is Dhamma are countless. I vow to study them all. So this is similar. So perfecting the third vow is to perfect wisdom. Means all of the cultivation that is needed to perfect all wisdom. Then Shenhua mentioned last year, he told the student, you studied the Surangama Sutta. This year you are studying the Dhamma flower, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. The Heart Sutta, the Diamond Sutta, or Vajra Sutta, and the Earth Store Bodhisattva Sutta, and so on. We will have lectures on Avatamsaka Sutta as well. This one is Hsuan. Each sutta has its own principles. How many sutta would you say there are? There are as many sutta as the number of grains of sand in the Ganges, as many as motes of dust in the universe. The Avatamsaka Sutta, in its original form, has as many chapters as the motes of dust in the 10 Trikilo Gosum. How many is that? It is as many as those dust motes. You can count how many dust motes there are. Then you know how many chapters there are. You cannot or can't, don't ask me, because I am just like you. As for Dhamma, there are the great vehicle Dhamma, the lesser vehicle Dhamma, the Four Noble Truths, the 6 Paramita, the dwelling of dependent origination or arising, the 37 factors of enlightenment, How many Dhamma doors are there? There are 84,000 Dhamma doors. If we were to study one Dhamma door a day, it would have been 84,000 days. How many days are there in our life? There are 365 days in a year, 3,650 in 10 years, 36,500 days in 100 years. So we would be dead before we finish study. So National Master Qing Liang lived to be 101. How can we ever finish learning all Dhamma, all wisdom and knowledge? We can never finish learning. If not, should we quit study? No. Even though we cannot finish studying, we still need to study. Dhamma doors are countless. I vow to study them all. If we do not study, we will not learn. So we must keep studying. By way of elaboration, how many different kinds of writing or written language are there in this world? Each country has their own written language, and each country also has their own spoken language. You may say that a person with a doctorate in linguistics must know 30 to 40 or 50 or even 100 languages. Sometime like that, or someone like that may know several dozen languages, but he cannot master them all. Is there anyone who can master all the languages in the world? No. If learning spoken languages is so difficult, how much more is learning written language? Each country has their own. They are not easy. Therefore, Zhuangzi said, our lives are limited, yet knowledge has no limit. If we pursue the limitless with what is limited, we will just be exhausting ourselves. We observe that human life is limited, and we eventually come to an end. The sea of knowledge, however, has no limits or end. If you, with your limited lifespan, try to learn limitless knowledge, you will never achieve your goal. That is why Zhuangzi said, you will wear yourself out. But all this, I think, not important, because when you understand the law of karma and the Bodhisattva way, it's not just one line. The limitless birth and death that we continuously arise. If you have the understanding and take the Bodhisattva way, then all this cultivation can be perfected and get stored like the karmic nature into our spiritual nature. That's why the perfection can be perfected and developed. So all these are possible. But you use the mundane thinking to assess it, then it's like impossible. Then we continue, right? We see what Shenhua has to say. We are now studying the Buddha Dharma. We are learning it little by little. However, there is still much to learn. Let me tell you why we should meditate. We meditate in order to learn the sutta originally within each one of us, to learn about the inherent wisdom. Within the inherent nature of each of us, there are countless sutta, limitless wisdom, and numberless Dhamma. In fact, the 84,000 Dhamma are all included within our inherent nature. However, you do not know how to make use of your inherent nature. So you search outwardly, not realizing that you have to return the light to illuminate your own nature and reflect with it. So this one is very true. I think by now you can understand it. I have drawn for you the 4 circle formation. So with that understanding, you will also come to understand why Shenhua say, actually within our nature, the inherent nature, all the limitless teachings are there. That's why the Bodhisattva way is the only way that can help you locate the gateway to your nature. Then when you are inside there, like I said, the cultivation take off differently. Very, very profound, very extensive. And that transformation inside is beyond words, beyond thought, and very difficult to comprehend. That's why that nature within, when we go through the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development, Bodhi mind that plant the seed of Bodhi to go this way is the most important. After that, then Bodhi mind that can endure and severe all affliction. Then after that, you develop all the wisdom accordingly. Then you can illuminate that nature. So the third stage of Bodhisattva, the third stage of Bodhi mind development is the Bodhi mind that illuminates this nature. When you can reach that state, you are already very, very advanced, very good. And I should say, you are safe. The Bodhisattva way has reached a point where you won't fall back. You won't fall back. Because after that, you will mature into the 4th stage of Bodhi mind development, which is the Bodhi mind that have the understanding to renounce samsara. Yes, samsara is no longer an issue. You will not be deluded by the thought that tell you, Ayo, the Bodhisattva way is so long. And samsara is like never-ending. They call it one never-ending story. There's a show on that. So he said, how can I go? How can I finish, cultivate too long? So a lot of them say they want to give up. they were taught to make the vow to renounce the Bodhisattva way, and revert back to the sainthood way and just want to realize Arahantaship. There are a lot of people who buy that type of idea. But the understanding is different when you go on this way. Where he know you, he know me. There is nobody to become enlightened, to realize Arahantaship. That's why Ajahn Chah got a very good say. You have a thought that tell you you want to be an Arahant, then you will never become an Arahant. Arahant is a being that realizes itself and set the mind free, because the form and mind is not a permanent and changing entity, not him. So all this understanding is very important. So coming back to all this, then you will understand the profoundness of the Bodhisattva way. That's why when with this explanation and understanding, now you can understand why Shen Huang tell you all of the Dhamma door, all of the perfection, understanding, the wisdom that you need, they are all within your inherent nature. Because it's only through the Bodhisattva way, when you did the 4th support, to locate the gateway to your nature, to commence the Bodhisattva way, then only the very profound and advanced cultivation takes place. And that is to penetrate your inner nature within. And that nature is very beautiful. It has a lot of things inside there where living being can never fathom. And the understanding of it as you develop the cultivation and transformation is really beautiful. It's like an unending process, but very, very rewarding. Okay, we move on. I have to stop somewhere already. Okay, so when I lecture on the Heart Sutta, Shenhua said, he said, turn the light to shine within and contemplate at ease. 回光返照. That's why the Heart Sutta's opening statement, 观自在菩萨. So, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, while he was contemplating the five aggregates, he illuminated the five aggregates and realized that they were all empty. 五蕴皆空，照见五蕴皆空. That realization transformed him as I take him across to the other shore. And that part is very important. Take a look at yourself and see whether you are at ease or not. That's why relax is to be at ease. No stress, no problem. Just be. If you are, then profound prajna will come forth and illuminate the five skandha as empty. So when you are at ease, means 自在, the mind doesn't arise. Completely at ease, tranquil, still. Then the prajna, which is the wisdom, will arise. It will come forth and let you insight into the five aggregate and realize that they are all empty. So that illumination is actually like your insight into it. It's like illuminate to let you see it or realize it. When practicing the profound prajna paramita, he illuminated the five skandha and saw that they were all empty. 照见五蕴皆空. Once you have seen the five skandhas as empty, you will understand all other phenomena. This is very true. Like I told you, the moment you awaken to one very powerful insight regarding the three universal characteristics, you awaken to the whole existence characteristics. So this one is very true. The moment he saw that the five skandhas were empty, he understands that all the other phenomena within the conditioned world, they have the same universal characteristic. So you should meditate for a certain amount of time each day. That is the process of returning the light to shine within. We need to diligently study the Dhamma and then diligently cultivate them. Actually, when he talked about developing this meditative training, see, the process of returning the light to shine from within is to develop the inner awareness. You remember what I tell you? To be mindful, to be aware is from inside out. Understand? We are from that nature, the awareness shine from. When you are with the awareness nature, you are with the true mind, silent mind. And this is the one that maintains the awareness. Not until that nature shine forth, you cannot be in a state of awareness all the time. So that part is very important. Okay, go back. Okay, that is the process of returning the light to shine within. I finished this. Once we have finished studying them, you cannot just put them aside and ignore them. As you learn the Dhamma, you must put them into practice. And this is what is meant by Dhamma are countless. I vow to study them all. So this is Shenhua's way of explaining. In fact, the vow is very deep in its meaning. Although Dhamma doors are countless, there is just an analogy figure, you call it what? It's just like using the figure as an analogy. Countless means limitless. But the actual understanding is different. Because this Dhamma door are all the so-called door that lead to the understanding. It's just like a door. You open, you go in. The Dhamma door will have its Dhamma or realization of the truth, wisdom. Then as you penetrate that door, then only you have the causes and condition to actually realize the higher wisdom, the higher understanding and all those things. So Dhamma door are limitless actually, or countless. It keep on unfolding. That's why when you have this understanding, the nature keep on giving rise to understanding. That's why I said life itself is our greatest teacher. Within life, within existence, the Dhamma unfold. Then for those who see, they always see in the midst of life and existence. When you have the ability to always see, means the wisdom is already there. The universal characteristics are all over. That's why for those who see, they always see. So when we cultivate, we have to develop the understanding until it is very, very stable. Until you have penetrated the immense cultivation. And all this can be done. The Bodhisattva way can be perfected. We have so many Sammasambuddha has gone through it and they have realized it. Okay, I think we stop here. Huh? The fourth vow we will continue in our next session. Huh? So now we come back to our second session. Good. Today is song. Yeah? Continue. Okay. So we get song to do the sharing. Huh?
Brazil Mr. Still Organic Hours。Brazil 我要 share 一些我从九华山回来以后的一些 experience。
好。
我从九华山回来了以后，我觉得我整个人不一样了，
不一样，
跟 silence 跟 aware 在 daily 里面。then 就有一天早上7点我就起床了以后then 我会自然的去扫地then during 我在扫地的时候，那个 contemplation 的那个麦它自己出来then 它就自己的去 contemplate 那个它从 the law of Dharma 然后上去 the law of dependent origination 上到 law of Dharma而又从 law of Dharma 下来到 law of dependent origination 下到那个 law of Dharma 它自己这样子，它自己出来这样 3 to 1 1 to 3这样子上去下来then the next moment 我这里就这样子就这样子就整个就这样子
好像了解了
对，整个就这样子这样闪一下，整个人就就很像了解然后我觉得这个是一个 condition 它 unfold 因为我从来没有在早上7点去扫地的usually 我是在下午那天我不周末会早上起来去扫地and then 那个 contemplation 它又自己这样子 manifest我自己没有想过我会这样子的去 contemplate
It's the condition from inside. It's not from the thought. That's why 你不能了解的 normal people cannot understand one. And you're not a cultivator. You won't go through all this one. That's why after I transformed, I remember in the year after 1989, the contemplative wisdom keep on arising one. Then whatever I do, the Dhamma is there. That's why finally I realized that is the way of cultivation. If you don't go through this cultivation, if you don't take the Bodhisattva way, it's not easy to follow, or you cannot really comprehend what really happened to those who go that way. In fact, the Sainthood way, they hardly experience all this. The Sainthood way has their own, what they call, cultivation. But compared to the Bodhisattva way, essentially you cannot blame the Mahayana for saying that these are provisional teaching, the initial teachings. Because for Sainthood way, you don't need so much understanding and extensive cultivation. But you go through the real cultivation that connect to the nature, and from there you transform. Then you go through a lot of cultivation that Sainthood way cultivator will not experience. Very good. Continue. Yeah.
反正我这样想一下，那种感觉很像是 awaken to it，是吧
Yeah.
OK，
Because that nature will have the understanding. When you awaken, the understanding is really the nature one. You don't have to remember one. You need to remember. Because when it's already there, it's already there. Even Guangxing Lao和尚, he understand. He said, people ask him, what is wisdom? 什么是智慧? He said, wisdom is a very strange thing, isn't it? He said, sometimes the person who has developed the wisdom and the awakening, he also doesn't know that he has developed it. But based on the Buddha's definition of Pacetang, he should know, actually. It doesn't mean that they doesn't know it. It's only for those who are new, because first time they experience all this. And also it happened in such a way that it's like glimpses of all this awakening. Then they don't know that there is wisdom. But what he said was a very powerful statement, the following. He said, when somebody who developed the cultivation initially, when they awaken, they also doesn't know that they have awakened. But the way to confirm it is when they encounter a situation, they know what to do. 那就是智慧. Understand? Because the wisdom will arise on this yoniso manasikara. They will prompt you on. Then you know fear nothing, because the understanding is there. So you don't have to remember. So sometimes you cannot recall the Dhamma or the word or what. Never mind. Because don't try to remember. Because the memory is another thing. Then if you keep on trying to remember, you will be like deceived by the thought again. So the thought will try to analyze, then try to reason. Then every time something happens, you go back to the thought and analyze and realize what happened to you early, or more than 10 over years ago. That's what it will happen. Then I have to advise someone, I say, you are still using the thought to analyze, to reason. That is not the real Dhamma. The real Dhamma is forget about the memory. Just cultivate. Continue to let it unfold. Then as it unfolds, the wisdom that you have developed, they will transform you. And the way you understand life, the way you live life, all different already. Then you realize the embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path factors, they start to manifest. Then most of the time you have that mindfulness to actually be aware of what is going on in life. Then your view, you can never go wrong with it. You can never do all those foolish things, wrong things. You can never violate the precepts and all those things already. Then you realize, how come suddenly you become like that? And a lot of things that normal people like to do, you no longer have those interests already. It's not to say you don't know how to do or you don't want to do or you are not skillful in it anymore. No. You still have the understanding and the interest. Like last time I shared with you all. play badminton. I play until so skillful. I really very good at it. Then mahjong also, I play until very good. Card game very. But suddenly after the year 1989, I suddenly like, not to say I lose interest or what. I still very good at it. If got condition, I still can play. I still can take the racket, do all those things. Then even like New Year time, I remember the earlier, sometimes the kids, they want to have card game, all those things. There is a festival. If a condition, I can still do, but I normally don't participate for long. At the most, help them to start the thing. Then after that, hand it over to my father. I remember that time, my father still around. And my father liked to be the jonker. Because that time he quite old. And so the kid, the grandchildren, all they like to play with it. And sometimes the other brother also, especially my last younger son, he liked to be a jonker. So yeah, they like this kind of thing. So all this, it will manifest. Then like you will know what is useful, what is important, and you will still at flow with causes and conditions. Then the most important thing is, even after you have the Dhamma, you go through the first stage of seeing, understanding that normal Puthujjana who has not developed the wisdom and the awakening, they were seeing as they, not to say as they are, according to their memory, their conditioning, their means mundane seeing, this mundane activity, mundane seeing, mundane consciousness, mundane manifestation. So you will have the understanding. That's why Kan San, Si San. Then the second stage, when you go through the awakening, the silent mind that penetrate the reality, sitting as they are, and insight in the phenomena, then you realize the direct seeing wisdom, 看山不是山, yes? No word, no concept, no all this duality, seeing things as they are. But then with that phase, you cannot live life 100%. You have to return to normality. That's why the third phase of seeing is suchness seeing. 看山又是山. When you see mountain as mountain again, that is the most beautiful. So that phase will arise. So when that phase arises, you can accord and flow, you can mingle around, and life continue like normal. That's why it's suchness seeing. So all this will transform. You are going through the second phase, and more of this will arise. And as they arise, you will develop the understanding, and that's why you will find it very amazing. Like normally you don't sweep floor in the morning, but then that day, for no reason, you will go and sweep. Then, like the way he described, the contemplative wisdom just arises, and the Dhamma just arises from the law Dhamma, or they call it Dhamma Niyama. Then the essential Dhamma down to the law dependent orientation. Then after he go through the 12 ring, then that law Dhamma come back. In fact, it's the whole full cycle. And the whole thing will just unfold. Then as you develop this contemplative wisdom, there is the nature going through the understanding. It's meant to be, it's for your nature to awaken to and to develop all this understanding. Then when they unfold, he will know it. That's why you say like an aha moment on it, but he suddenly understand. The real cultivation is like that. It's not through knowledge. It's not through what they call memory and all those things. It's not like committing to memory or what the Dhamma is, the teaching is. You can recite them, but without the real understanding, no use. Like most people study Dhamma, they follow what they call knowledge approach. So they can rattle to you all the essential Dhamma. 3 evil root, he can answer you. 3 hatred, illusion. 4 noble truth. They sometimes make it wrong. Life is suffering. Cause of suffering. Then cessation of suffering. Then the noble eightfold path that lead to the end. They only know how to recite this, but they don't know the real understanding of the Dhamma. Then when it comes to 5 mental hindrance, spiritual, they can rattle it out. Then even in Pali, the 4 noble truth, dukkha, samudaya, nirodha, magga, they can rattle it out. So this one go for Pali exam very good. But when it comes to real profound wisdom, not there, where they have not developed the understanding of the cultivation, especially the 3 turnings of the 4 noble truth. And you don't have your past, you need a good teacher to guide you, to teach you. But you don't have all both of this, then it's very difficult. So for Song's condition, it's very good. It can bring out understanding for fellow cultivator to have the understanding so that when they pass through that phase, they can also understand. And you have been listening attentively, you will develop the faith, the joy. Yes, this is possible. And many Kayamita has done it. In the early day, it was different because it was like I was the only one who can do it. And hardly you see Kayamita who can really report their progress and all those things. That was my first batch originally. But a lot of them, they learn the theory, they become very happy because suddenly they realize that Dhamma which is very different. But the reason why they cannot progress further or progress much is they only have the first turning, listening and contemplative Dhamma. Contemplative Dhamma also, they didn't really learn the true cultivation of the contemplative Dhamma, the second turn. So what they did is, they listen, they try to commit to memory. They're acting according to memory. It's like they have the knowledge. But they realize they cannot defeat that Dhamma that they have acquired as knowledge. They find it so difficult to put into practice. They cannot live it. That's why finally they asked me, why like that, brother? They go in and out of retreat. Inside retreat, very nice. Mind very calm, very peaceful, like a lot of progress. Come out, back to society, maximum 2 weeks, back to square one, heedless again. I say, because the way you cultivate, you didn't develop the heedfulness. The main problem with them is those who didn't stabilize their daily mindfulness, you cannot develop true progress beyond the first and second turning. You must develop the stability of mindfulness. Then only your progress become more realistic, or I should say more stable. Then from there, that Dhamma that arise is very different. Where is the turning? Wisdom, bhavana, maya, panya. So all this understanding, as you develop the faith, as you develop the cultivation, important thing is daily mindfulness. Stabilize it. Then don't worry about whether you have progressed or not. You will know yourself. When you are mindful, stable, when you are heedful, you are destined for awakening or enlightenment. Okay? Yeah, continue. So, good sharing.
然后过后有一天早上，又是早上，我去吃早餐。那一天早上，哎呦，哇！我 on the way 去吃早餐的时候，我发现到我整个的 mind state 都是很 silent、很 peaceful 就在那种很平静的那种状态里面。then 我就这样子的去吃早餐。 then 我在吃完那个早餐的时候，哇，我整个人就是你是在那种 stage 里面，然后你可以看到你的那个 thought arise，它自己这样子 arise，then the next moment，actually 我什么都没有做，但是它会自己里面 silent 跟 aware，then 你就可以看到那个东西这样子又回到你的 body 里面，然后然后我又这样子 continue 就这样子。来跟我讲，哎，这整个 process 好像不是我在做，
对，
他自己的这样子 manifest 给你看，然后他自己的知道怎样的去就 silent 跟 aware，那整个的那个满天脉就整个这样又回到你的 body，然后你可以看到的哦。
Yeah, from that nature, it true life, it hit the creation, but because your mindfulness has stabilized, your wisdom also has followed. Like I said, when you have clear a few Dhamma door, the thing you see inside is different because this Dhamma door got this type of wisdom. Then without this wisdom, you cannot enter the second Dhamma door. That's why cultivation is like that one. You cannot like take shortcut on. Cannot. It is like meant to be one, stage by stage. If you have not gone through that stage, you cannot actually have a possibility of opening another Dhamma door that is linked or continuation from that. Unless you have your past cultivation, then you can actually like bypass through a lot of this and go back to your cultivation from the past. Otherwise, it's like one at a time, it going. And I came to realize that that's why after that, when I continue to share, I realized cultivator all the way, if you have progressed to that stage, it's not difficult for, not easy for a new cultivator to catch on. Cannot. It seems like, wow, really not possible. I give you an example. Like initially, your cultivation, if you don't even know what sati is, mindfulness is, then you will be doing thought-based meditation for very long. You will be caught inside there, cannot come out. Then when you start to understand what sati is, then you do until the day that sati comes, whether through bowing or walking or whatever, or even the third turning sitting form of meditation or whatever. Not until that one stabilize and arise, you will not have much understanding of how Dhamma can unfold. Then don't talk about the silent observation of what is, to see things as they are, or to develop the insight and all of it. Because most of these need the hearing wisdom, first turning, contemplative wisdom stabilize. Then only the third turning wisdom can arise. And for the third turning, you need to have stable sati, leading to heedfulness. Then after that, to go to the bodhisattva way, to locate the gateway, that is an entirely new field of cultivation. So no way they can really catch up. That's why as Kayamata, you're all lucky because I have been sharing with you all for so long, coming to 21 years. And all this sharing has developed the causes and conditions together with the Kayamata funds, Kayamata force. It has helped you all transform and develop the Bodhisattva ways understanding of paying respect and cultivating affinity with great beings to seek their protection, guidance, and blessings. And all these are very important to thank them and continue to request their guidance, protection, and blessing. And this will pave the way for a lot of things to happen. Then only the progress can be like smoother and smoother. And need to ask for forgiveness to a lot of new cultivator. You don't ask for forgiveness, the coming obstruction can obstruct it. Then as long as you have not gone through all those phases, there is no way you can really develop the understanding to even catch up. So this thing, when you understand, then you know cultivation is different from other type of like training. You want to use diligence to train until you become very skillful, like playing a game or whatever, to become skillful in it. That one is different. That one you put in the diligence, the hard work, you continuously push yourself. You can become very good, and you can even become maybe world champion or whatever. But Dhamma is different. Dhamma, diligence alone without understanding is of no use. And this type of understanding is very difficult to come by. But the real cultivator of the way with the real understanding, not to say they don't want to teach you, really we cannot understand them. Then when you ask, the way they explain, you really catch no ball. They are book you. So unless you have the good condition like our Kayamita gathering or Kayamita way of sharing and other things, then now with the website, everything, it's not easy. It's really, really not easy. That's why have faith and treasure all this, then go all out. Only this life, you get it set right, correct? You are hope all your future coming taken care of. That's why have faith, develop the understanding, then diligently cultivate with the understanding to stabilize all this so that in future when you come, you will have this Dhamma understanding already stable inside your Bodhi mind. Plant the seed of Bodhi, then determine to have all this understanding, life after life, follow the yellow card, then set the base for all this to become a part of your nature, so that in future when you arise, this understanding will manifest. Your Bodhi mind that you have planted with the faith and the what they call the sincerity, the faith, and the understanding. All this, they will actually activate on its own because you have developed the vow and the adhitan, the what they call adhitan, the other English word is affirmation. When you make the affirmation, it actually go deep into your nature because that is the vow you make out of love, compassion, sincerity, and understanding. Then you plant the seed of Bodhi deep with this understanding, and you invoke power of words for causes and conditions for you to have this understanding whenever you arise in the future. So all this, they will stabilize. Then you don't have to worry about future life. No matter what happened this life, after that, that part that you have sincerely developed the affirmation and cultivation, it will spin off and activate your Bodhi mind to actually move whenever it arrives. Especially now we still got 2000 over years of sasana. You can still take rebirth during this sasana. Many, I think at least, considering maximum 100 years you live, I think you can have at least 25 life, but not necessarily human. Depend if you aspire correctly, you can come back as human, and you can have causes and conditions to actually within the sasana to continue to develop all this. I think by the time you come back in the world didn't get it destroyed, your planet, I think by then the AI will be very powerful. You can learn a lot of things. So it will give you the condition. Google brotherteo.com, brother.com, all these things come out. Then when you read them, like very familiar one. Wow, like you have read them before, no? Like all the teaching, the sharing, like very easy to understand. No? Then when you meet fellow Kayamita, it's like you know this person you have seen before, or somebody you know. That's why you will feel it. Yeah. Then a lot of all these manifestations, these are part of nature's condition and part of the Dhamma. I better let's not continue. After that, I use about
下一个 experience 了。那 for 那 2 weeks 很多这样的那种 experience 一直 unfold 然后下一次就是有一天晚上我在家里我在吃那个榴莲的时候，the moment 我一吃那个榴莲，我发现到完全不一样。怎么我没有 like and dislike，也没有讲那个，因为我以前很喜欢吃榴莲的，怎么我今天我吃到的榴莲没有这个来好吃不好吃哇那个味道怎样？怎么没有的？就是这样子我自己也奇怪，怎么只是just like direct eating 那样子过后我在 recall 的时候。even 我在看住那个榴莲的时候，我都没有 label， 只是在 direct seeing 里面。其实我整个晚上，其实我整个过程，我在吃那个榴莲的时候，我是在就是完全是不一样，没有 label， 没有 analysis，没有 like dislike，就这样子吃，我自己都觉得很奇怪。我吃了第一粒了以后，我觉得我再去吃第二粒，又是一样。我吃了3粒的那个混的那个榴莲，整个过程就是这样子，只是 just like eating just 这样子。
But it will show it to you. That's why the second experience so very good. It's like the nature can see the thought, how the arising, the birth of it, the sustenance of it, then the cessation of it, means how it 灭掉. According to him, is the mundane mind's creation. Then how it disappear within the nature. But from there it arises. But all this can only manifest when you have the mindfulness and the stability of the understanding. Then it will transform you, like I said just now. After you develop all this awakening and understanding, it will transform you. But it's inside your nature. So when you talk about eating, really, not to say craving or no craving, because the understanding is so different. Because with the mindfulness and the awareness, even the durian, the first thing that come to you is, especially nowadays, the species are so good, like Mao San Wang, all those things, or very fragrant, but it does not create the luring, the draw, or the craving towards it. Then you just smell it, and you know that thing cannot draw you like want to eat and want to eat a lot. Cannot. The way you eat also, very nice. Then you look at the durian or no. Like I said, no word, nothing or no. Then the first time you really feel it, then like you can experience all this through that awareness. Then the thought like cannot move on. It like enable you to see things as they are. And when you eat also, the taste of it, everything is fully aware or not. It is different or not. Although you know that it's nice, but in the past, when you eat with the craving, you just eat or no, without awareness. It's nice. Just eat. Then how you finish, you never look, you never experience anything. But this one you eat, you develop the strange understanding. Hey, how come now different? how come I become different? As I remember in the early days after I transform, when I eat, the white rice, normally I don't really bother about whether this white rice is one or one or one. But when I saw the rice, I took it, then I slowly eat. Then after that I chew, not like normal time. Wow, before you chew, you just swallow it, and especially you got good dishes around, you swallow very fast. But this time you will just bite. Then I realize, hey, it becomes sweet. Where is carbohydrate, complex sugar, break down into sugar, sucrose. Then I realized, no wonder my wife told me, is it the nasi lemak, he want the white rice without the curry one. He said that one nice. Last time I always put the curry on the whole thing. But then as you understand, you go through all this phase, it is another phase of development of understanding. Where when your senses become sensitive, you feel and tasting differently. Your senses experience all this through awareness. That's why the Zen. Drinking a cup of tea is Zazen. Zazen means you are in a state of awareness. The awareness is so clear that there is no thought running around. It's fully the taste, everything, the movement, everything. And you really can have a good sip of the tea. And you really can taste it, the pristine, what they call beauty and wonders of life within that moment. And every moment is so nice, so tranquil, so still, so aware. It's like the whole world come to a standstill, and only that nature manifests. That's why then you realize, no wonder the Zen know. Drinking a cup of tea can be in a meditative state. You can experience the pristine wonder and beauty of life within the moment, within every of this movement and experience that you go through in life. That's why life itself is your greatest teacher, and it unfolds to you a lot of these things. So this phase, you don't have to like hold on to it and later on in future, how come now it doesn't repeat? No. It only arises for you to see, for you to understand. After that, you will move on to different phase. Understand? Phase by phase, you will go through, which is good. That's why if your consciousness or awareness does not transform, all these are impossible to realize, to experience, to develop the understanding. So now you realize they are not talking about the Dhamma. They are talking about the reality of experiencing all this true manifestation of awareness and transformation. Good. You summarize first. 其他的 later.
不然刚才你讲到的一个句子很好，就是说一定要 all out to cultivate 这个mindfulness。真的，只有我们去 cultivate 这个 mindfulness，你一定要去 understand 什么是 sati，then 我们才能够去 cultivate。对，so cultivation 是 always cultivate with understanding。
that one I always stress。
And then 在每一天有 faith 的就去 cultivate， 就去做你该做的。不然就每次有 advice 在 daily 里面，对，只是每天你只是 repeat 的一直去做，don't try to know。So when 它 stable 的时候，Dharma 就会 unfold 出来，
它自己会现出来，
对，它会现给你看。So like 不然每次讲的 let the phenomena to tell you，
tell you the story。 You don't go and look for the phenomena and try to use your knowledge to ask, is this anicca? Is this the three characteristics? Is this suffering? All those are knowledge. When you're silent completely and the phenomena manifest, just like the thought process manifests during breakfast, that is the direct see. You see things as they are, and without word, they just manifest and show it to you. That's why after that, truth is everywhere in the midst of life and nature. Why can't you see? You will see them, but your mindfulness not stable yet. You have not developed the understanding and the stability of it. That's why it is slow to arise, to to develop the understanding of it. Because cultivation, you cannot hurry on. You cannot be too eager to know whether I have progressed or not. Forget about it. The more you want to know, that craving will stop you. There is a thought up there. You just do. Then all of a sudden, when sati arises, you will understand. Then you will know what this thing is. Very good. Started.
啊，我的 sharing 就到这里，我们改天再 continue。
Sadhu. Let us rejoice and then share merits. Atta satta cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyatang anamoditva kirarakantu loka sasana etta ota jamehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatina hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatina hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatina hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo devo vasatu kalina sasu sampati hetu cha Fito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyam kamena mame bhava samagamo tatang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, now you can be respect mindfully the Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the way beyond. And we end. Sadhu.